obviously, before anybody says anything, one of the worst times to be alive probably be slavery for me. I'm just keeping it real. Or any time, any slavery to any period after slavery, all the way up until maybe like the last 20 years, it's still bad. It's still bad for black people. But, you know, around that time, you're getting whipped, you're getting hunted, just a whole bunch of shit. But let's try to think of the worst times for humanity. What would be the worst time for humanity as a whole? It's probably going to be that time where the world froze. Where the world froze over and almost everybody got exterminated because it was so fucking cold and not everybody had the resources and materials to survive. I don't know. For me, that's just food for thought, because like, what other events has realistically humans all over the world experienced at once? I don't know. I can't think of anything that comes to my head. Maybe it's because it's late and I'm like bugged out off energy drinks and shit. But if y'all think of one, y'all let me know. But anyways, we got a video about Tommy NFG. Like his videos, subscribe. Let's get into it.
The world is facing a massive turmoil all around it, and people aren't really happy with things like wars that don't need to be happening.
Bye-bye, Russia!
Inflation that turned a little.
I have not heard a single thing about that war in Ukraine. Actually, now that I think about it. Ever since Donald Trump became president, I have not heard a single thing. A single thing. I haven't heard about a single person being killed. I ain't seen a single TikTok. I ain't seen a single, maybe because it's being censored, bro. What if some shit's going on? And I was supposed to get a Little Caesars pizza. Fuck. But it's too late now. It's like 11. I don't think they're 24 hours. Fuck, man. This video just reminded me.
Little Caesars pizza from $5 to $10. It don't even be tasting good enough for this price. Little Caesars, y'all know you're wrong for this. People barely being able to afford to live. But all things considered, we're probably at the best moment in humanity compared to other times. Which is why we're gonna be looking at the
worst times to be alive.
Starting off with none other than caveman times. The name of it in general gives it away.
Whenever you think about caveman, bro, when I think about caveman, I'm like, I think of all the problems I deal with on a daily. And I'm like, how the fuck did they do it? What do you mean, like, especially without the knowledge, bro? Imagine being one of the first cavemen and you're eating something that makes you shit uncontrollably. What do you mean I'm shitting for 15 hours straight? Now I can go to the doctor. If I eat something crazy that's making me shit for more than 3 fucking hours, I'm going to the doctor. I'm going to the hospital. They plug you up to a machine, figure out what's wrong with you in about 15 minutes. Get you up out of there. The bill going to be high? Yes. Ass going to be on fire? No. That's one thing. That's one thing. And then you got shit like broken bones, hygiene, chapped lips. Fuck, chapped lip. I couldn't even imagine. I heard back in times like those, they use their earwax for their lips, bro. But I mean, hey, you have to do what you gotta do, bro. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Caveman times. Them had to live in caves to survive the nights for slumber. Like, we consider the least you can have in life is shelter. Their shelter was a damp cave with all types of insects and bats flying around. You could barely around and risk sleeping because a 20-foot spider might bite your nuts off while you sleep. And could you imagine how sleeping in the winter would have been like? I know that rock bed felt like ice cubes. The typical day for a caveman is waking up and hoping you weren't eaten by either a saber-toothed tiger, a woolly mammoth, or Elon Musk. Then you had to go out and actually hunt for your food. And unless you're the Liver King and hunting bulls then throwing a testes in your breakfast cereal, you probably don't do this. And the worst part too is that their weapons weren't even that good. Like, what did they have? Spears, bows and arrows, hammers? We use that shit in Minecraft now to survive. A spear or bow was probably cool to get a little bird or fox, but what the is it gonna do against the Gigantopithecus? Okay.
Imagine you're in a village of about 25 people, and about, let's say 5 of those are village elders, super old. What is probably the oldest you could be at that time, like 35. 5 of those are village elders, and about 6 of y'all are full-fledged grown men. And all you have is a spear or a tomahawk with a fucking stone. How are you killing this? How are you killing this? Be honest. This thing, whatever this flat-faced fucking bear-like thing is ravaging your village. It's ravaging your village. When I say ravage, that's probably the most polite term I can use. This thing is going to kill every elder, every man, every woman, every child. Hell, even whatever a pet was back then. Gone.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to pronounce his name, but this big ass ape, an extinct species of ape that were 10 feet tall and weighed over 1,000 pounds. This must be the primate Shaq comes from, because ain't no way, dog. You're gonna need about 1,000 arrows to take one of these down.
So I hear some echoing in the background. That's weird. Is that the video?
Imagine these lived in modern times with us. The NBA would be paying top dollar to get one of them on their team. But nowadays, we could see one of these creatures and be like, damn, that's crazy. And boom, the species would be gone. You also gotta factor in weather too, because unlike today's tools where we can predict when anything is gonna happen, before they had to take a gamble if their village was gonna be up or taken by a tsunami in the middle of the night. I would turn into a villain if I woke up and the whole village was swept away except for me. And people talk about lifespan being low before modern medicine in the past, but imagine in caveman times. They'd be lucky if they celebrated their 18th birthday. Doing my inquisiting research with asking a question on Google, the average caveman lived to 20 to 25 years old.
Oh, so when I said 35, that was actually over expectancy. Nigga, I'm this age right now. Oh my God. I couldn't even imagine being, what would I look like if I was a caveman? Would I look older? At this time, would I just be like severely like sick, withered, just dead? Well, I wonder what I look like 20, at age 21. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of years ago, bro.
Man, he was already considered unk at 12 years old. A caveman could just catch the common cold and everyone in the village already knew it was GG's. If my caveman homie caught the cold and gave it to me, I'm gonna have to spear his ass first before the cold takes him. Plus, since there was no hygiene like a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, they were dying to basic things we prevent nowadays like tooth infections and ass aids. Well, I don't know about ass aids, but a leaf to wipe your ass had to have not been healthy.
Well, he says it like that, bro. I had a bad toothache a few weeks ago. Went to the dentist, and it turns out my tooth had decay, and it was almost about to take over my root, and I almost had to get a root canal. Could you imagine back then, bro? Oh my! And I'm like, I just remember the pain I had then. Could you imagine? Oh my God.
The main reason I couldn't live back then, quite frankly, is because everyone was ugly as shit. Like, how am I supposed to be on my Kai Cenat, Duke Dennis, looks maxing, edge mewing, joking type of timing when I look like this? I just keep bashing my face against the wall and hope my proportions smooth out better like handsome Squidward. The next time we got is the medieval times. Now, there's a obvious reason I wouldn't survive because, well, let's just say I wouldn't be allowed in the town with the regular folks. But it's not like I'd want to because was not fun. Like, I know I already talked about hygiene with the caveman, but holy at least they died early. There were actual old people in the medieval times. Back then, they used to actually think it was healthier to not shower. Scientists were not the brightest creatures. They thought diseases were caused by smells, and if you took a shower, it opened up the pores for the disease to enter your body, which has got to be the dumbest conclusion ever, but hey, that's what you get on a diet of stale bread and moldy cheese. I also like me a nice toilet with the sea-ass temp set at 68 degrees Fahrenheit to set forth the environment for my bowels to erupt. But do you know what a medieval toilet looked like? It was a hole in the ground. And after people finished doing their business, they would just throw their outside. Imagine walking to school or work in the morning and you get hit by 5 pounds of diarrhea from above. And in medieval times, you better hope you don't get caught with doing a heinous act like being a traitor, being black, because their torture methods were out of pocket for no reason. If you're tapped into the historical side of YouTube,
Ooh, the Iron Maiden. That's not even the worst one. The fact that this ain't even the worst torture method says a lot. I feel like the worst one, a lot of people say the brazen bull, where you get put in like a bronze bull and they light you like they cook your ass inside. Light a fire under the bronze bull and you're in there burning. And the sound coming from inside sounds like a bull. I heard of one where they open up your mouth. There's also the I think it's called the blood eagle or the fly eagle, where they like go like pin you down on like your front, like on your stomach, and they go down your back and they carve open your back and they pull your skin and they hang you up and your skin's flailed out like an eagle, like you have wings, bro. That's bad. But the worst one I heard of is they force honey down your mouth and they put you inside a log and on a swamp. And all the honey they forced down your mouth comes out as like diarrhea uncontrollably. So you're attracting insects like flies and all that extra shit that's attracted to the smell of shit and the honey. And then if you're still alive, they keep pouring more honey, more honey, more honey. Bro, that's so bad. Older generations, older like century, like people, they gotta be burning in hell, bro. There's no way you can do this to like a person and not have any sort of empathy.
Already seen how wild they could get. And the names give them away of the torture devices, like what type of joist object would be called the breast ripper? The worst one to me is the rack, where they tied you to a mechanical device that rotates and slowly stretched out your body until every bone broke and you ripped in half. If they bring this back as a torture method, never in my life am I even attempting to do the pettiest crime. I'm gonna be the most stellar citizen the government has ever seen. I'll always make sure to cross the street on a crosswalk, and I'll always make sure to go exactly the speed limit, not risking. And it's not like they even did it for only extreme criminals. If you simply had a different religious belief, they was finna call you a witch and put you on it pronto. Honestly, I don't even know why you would even tell them you have a different religious belief. Like, you just gotta be stupid. Also, people think politicians and world leaders are corrupt now, but could you imagine back then? You could probably give a king the wrong look, and if he's already mad that day, he'll just send you to be executed. And if I was a king, honestly, I'd probably do that too. Like, if I see some dude in the kingdom that looks handsome and might be a threat to my pulling abilities, I'm gonna have him executed. Game is game. And it's not like anyone was going against the king. If they tried, they would barely have a chance.
But
you would try killing a king, a knight would stop you, then put you through the most excruciating torture to ever exist.
Take him to Detroit. No!
We also thought quarantine was bad and staying a year and a half or 2 years inside was excruciating. But in medieval times, they had the Black Plague, and yeah, we really shouldn't be complaining. You were waking up every day and bodies were dropping left and right like no tomorrow. One day it was your homie's grandmother gone. The next day it was your grandmother gone. This plague took out 50% of the population. Imagine right now we went from 8 billion to 4 billion. Honestly, I wouldn't mind some of y'all freaks being taken out, but 4 billion was a little too much for me, you know? And their plague was 7 years. Also, the doctors were not helping back then, because why did they choose this as their outfit? They look creepy as fuck.
Bro, I heard a theory about this, bro. The reason they wore this was because I think this had like something in it, like pills or herbs or something, and like, or they had like pills and herbs for themselves, but I think this had something. The beak had something in it. I don't know why. I forgot the whole thing, but I remember it was something like that, or it had scent, herbs, whatever the fuck.
No way in hell I'm letting these dudes get near to help me with my medical predicaments. They couldn't have chose a scarier costume to go.
Remember my first time seeing those was Assassin's Creed 2, which is also on my Mount Rushmore gaming.
With. What were they thinking? Imagine being an innocent child and having the Black Plague, then this thing comes to aid and consulting you. I'ma just say my prayers to my Lord and Savior, then drop dead. The next times we got is segregation times. And if you're not of a melanated skin tone, well, congratulations. You get a one-time pass for this portion of the video to relive it. Let me give a shout out real quick to the GOATs. MLK, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X. Because without them, you wouldn't be watching this video of me. Either that or there would be a black-only YouTube and white-only YouTube. So, I don't know, maybe you would be watching it. I would have been pissed off living back then, because the hassle you had to get anything while segregated was absurd. Like, we already—
Bro, don't even get me started. Not only that, could you imagine waking up at like 2 a.m. hearing chanting outside your house, bro? you open the window and there's like 10 men dressed in white hoods just burning a cross on your front lawn and then throwing Molotovs at your house and burning it down. You know, and the reason they did it was just because you're a different skin tone. I genuinely feel like anybody, there's so many people burning in hell right now. Like, actually. Like, when you really think about it, bro, you are doing all this because I'm black. Because I'm black. And it wasn't even just the black people. It was the Native Americans. It was the Mexicans, too. It was anybody that wasn't white. Because I'm black. Could you imagine, like, my first love is a white woman. All my exes are white women. Could you imagine just like being transported 100 years ago, 1925, and dating a white woman? Especially anywhere down south, anything below Kentucky, anything out west like Oklahoma, or a desolate place like Iowa, Idaho in the north. That's why, like, back then, it's not prevalent now, but back then I definitely would have been carrying. For sure. You're not hanging me. You're not doing anything to me without a fight, bro. Without a fight. And, like, I respect that side of history more, of the people that did fight back, the people that fought for our rights, the slaves that didn't want to be slaves and they did something about it. I respect that more than like all the fear mongering, I guess you would say. Like, there's no way I'm letting anyone pour hot coffee on me. There's no way I'm letting someone just willingly kill me. There's no way if, like, someone kills my daughter, my wife, my brother, my sister, my dad, my mom, my grandma, that I'm going to protest peacefully. Nigga, I'm going to be the forthcoming of an Iraqi terrorist, bro. Everything's getting destroyed, bro. I'm the Hulk, bro. But, oh, they already see you as fine. I don't care. At that point, bro, like, all throughout history, equality never came from a peaceful fight, bro. Really. At all.
You know everything was separated by black and white places only, but then imagine how many actual black businesses you could go to. The hassle you had to go through alone to be able to open a business was almost impossible. As soon as they saw the race listed on the business application, you know they did not give a fuck. If you had to get a life-threatening surgery, you might as well just end it there, because there were about 50 people in line in front of you. And even if you did manage to get something luxurious like a car back then, you was getting pulled over every time you drive. You probably couldn't even use the car at nighttime anyways, because sundown towns, which for y'all that don't know are towns that ban non-white people from coming in after sundown. Imagine you don't know and randomly drive into the town a minute after sundown and catch a beating. I'd be pissed. And a beating is probably the lightest punishment they'd consider. I'd also be mad too, because
No, bro. I like, sundown town shouldn't even exist, bro. Even if you don't carry, I'm not letting you do what you think you're about to do. I'm not about to let you do what you think you're about to do. Carry, bro. Carry. That's why I tell everybody, carry, bro. Always respect the honor of a fair one-on-one, but if you got groups of people, cowards, what they say about Jujutsu Kaisen, bro? Weaker curses tend to stick together. You got to carry and eliminate them all, bro. Don't miss your shots. Don't miss your shots.
I wouldn't be able to talk to one of my white homies half the time. You couldn't hang out at the same school, hotels, bars, restaurants, parks, basically anywhere that was fun. The only place we would be able to talk is probably a damn grass field in the middle of Iceland. And if your love happened to be of another race as well, they definitely not gonna let that pass. You finna get banished from the family. Why do you think you've never seen an old light-skinned person? Really question yourself. Have you ever seen an old light-skinned person? They wasn't breeding them until like 50 years ago. It wasn't allowed. Thank the heavens they allowed it, or else we would have never never got in my pookie wookie trachey snaking. You could be walking down the street normally doing your own thing, and randomly someone is calling you the hard R like it's Call of Duty. And unlike Call of Duty where you can talk back, you couldn't risk doing it because you know the cops are not taking your side. You get in a life sentence if you even think of speaking back. Crazy thing is, some people act like this was like 500 years ago or something. The Civil Rights Act got passed 60 years ago. Some people alive were in their 20s, 30s, and 40s when it got passed. And of course, the last time we got is World War II because, no. Now, World War II was one of those times where every group had it bad. First, you had to get drafted to a war you didn't want to.
I would say out of all world wars, World War One was the most worst. That was the worst. That's the worst stories come from World War One, not two.
Like, I don't got no problems with anyone. Why the f am I fighting? These presidents gotta start fighting in a boxing ring or something because I'm not fighting with some problems you got. And patriotism went extra crazy before because kids were dead ass lying to get drafted and fight for the country. I'm doing the exact opposite of this happen. Whatever means it takes to not be drafted, I'm doing it. If I gotta lie about my age and act 12 years old, I'm doing it. If I gotta...
One thing about the military, bruh. One thing about the military. Oh, shit. I'm looking tired. I know y'all hear it in my voice. I'm getting tired. One thing about the military is cheating. There is no way I'm ever enlisting in any type of army, anything, any military service. And I'm gone. And my wife's cheating. And what makes it even worse is what happens when they catch him cheating. What do you mean you just served 2 tours in a hot ass desert or anywhere you did not want to be? 2 tours. You come home. This is a real story, by the way, I saw on Reddit. You come home, see your bathroom trash can filled with condoms. You confront your wife about it. Y'all go through a divorce and she still, no, women like that gotta die, bro. They are legit evil. To cheat on someone in the military is evil, bro. Evil. And then like the system so cater to women, bro. That bitch could damn near blow you up and still take all your shit. All of it. And I'm not being light. All of it, Brody. Please be careful with who you get with. My personal opinion, I'll never, in the fucking fan, I'll never get with a woman while I'm in active duty. At all. Please don't. I know you think she's the one, bro. We all thought she was the one. Just like any other story goes, like Karate Kid, I got fucking crane kicked, bro. Straight to the face. Unexpectedly, bro. They switch up. They're loyal to their emotions, bro. Not every woman, and I know incel shit, not every woman's like that. But there is a majority. Anyways, thank y'all for watching. Go subscribe. Fuck. Go follow my Instagram. Subscribe, leave a like, leave your comments, and I love y'all. Peace.